Okay, first of all, please excuse my wet hair. My mother was in a hurry to get some laundry done, so I had to rush. Um, this is the last video I did like a tiny clip and didn't say anything. Um, and I was going to just delete it because it was kind of a mistake, but people had commented. So I just left it up. This is going to be the actual one that I am going to talk about future topics. Um, I have been working my butt getting this one video up um, about how my um, biological father found me after 40 years of searching. Um, and it's a whole, I put pictures in and a little music. The software I'm using is not my Windows Movie Maker. I miss it very much. Um, Using it is very similar, but it just doesn't, it's supposed to upload to YouTube and it doesn't work really well. So I'm trying with doing it right onto my computer and uploading it myself. So that's what my my laptop's doing right now. Um, that was I've been working on that one for a week. Um, I also have I live in the middle of nowhere. We don't have like the best internet service. Um, the other topics that I'm thinking of, well, of course, my dog, who is towards the end of his training as a psychiatric service dog. Um, he's part Shih Tzu, and they tend to be a little independent. Um, Ideally, you would want a dog that was a little more eager to please. Um, and he thinks for himself. That's what Shih Tzus do. And so it has been a challenge because he will learn um, tasks and decide on whether he wants to perform them or not. He knows how. Um, and I have to work around that or come up with new ways. Sometimes it's me giving him conflicting uh, information and trying to train him um, anymore. I'm doing very well. Um, Yesterday felt a little hypomanic with the thoughts. Um, not thoughts, but ideas. I get ideas and I get so many so fast that I have to write them down. And that's not usually a problem until bedtime. And that's when my mind is really ramped up the most. Um, and I'm trying to fall asleep, but the absolute wonderful ideas are popping into my head. And I turn on the lamp and sit up in my bed and I'm down. Um, and I'm kind of remembering that when I had this problem in the past, to resist the writing them down because it only perpetuates the problem. If you can it's like having an itch and a scratching. You it's called, with that, it's called the itch scratch cycle. The more you scratch, the more it itches. And so at night, ideally, you really should resist when you're going to bed. Um, Stopping to write down those ideas. Now, if it's something you need to be doing the next day, yeah. But if you're like, I like, usually it's creative like projects, um, either new project ideas or ideas for current projects. And I feel like I want to get out of bed, regardless of what time it is, 10, 12, 3 in the morning. Um, I want to get up and start working on those projects right then, but I can't. I have to go to sleep. I have to go to bed. And it's very frustrating because I'm terrified I'm going to forget all these wonderful, fabulous ideas I'm having. Um, and so that can be really frustrating, but I think I'm going to try to see if I can resist, because I have found in the end that when I wake up in the morning, I never regret not having written it down. Either it's still there in my head, or I realize it wasn't that great of an idea in the first place. So um, I need to, if it happens again, I need to remember to resist the up and writing down ideas. Um, you and then I end up falling asleep later and getting very active in my brain. Um, let's see. But today I feel pretty level, and thus I feel also bored. I feel bored all the time now. Um, so I've been cleaning. Cleaning can also be difficult when you have a mood disorder, especially when you have bipolar disorder. But anyway, while I was working, I didn't have time to really clean. I would straighten up and sweep and stuff, but I really am doing some cleaning in the fall. So so I guess I could make that kind of a topic here while I'm on. Um, if you would excuse me for, as you know, I have to go get my water. I'm sorry about that. That's probably live poor etiquette, but if you're on medication like me, you have to have water all the time. So cleaning for a steady, clear head, your environment needs to be tidy. Because if it's a mess, whether you're depressed or manic, it's going to have an effect. It's going to, I find that if my space is messy, which, like, that stuff's there because I moved it there while I was cleaning, but that's an example that is bothering me. And if I were depressed, makes me I don't want to see anything. I don't want to because I don't have the energy or the motivation, or I don't see any reason. And why bother? What does it matter? Who cares? Nobody comes over anyway. Nobody's gonna see but me, and I'm just laying in my bed. So and I think that a tidy environment can improve that mind a little bit, frees up space, and and it gives a sense of um, a little bit of um, a little taste of something. If you're ruminating in depression, a tidy area, it's like if there's too much clutter, it just adds to it. But it's really hard to clean when you're depressed. You have no motivation. Yeah, it's hard to even um and so what I do, um in a lot of things, I force myself to do even the littlest things. Um, like, and I hate it the whole time, and I'm in my head bitching the whole time. But if it's just picking up a few pieces of trash, or straightening a shelf up, wiping off, but I seem to be able to, unless I am truly in a bad state, I can force myself to do things, hating it the whole way. Um, I'm gonna put my head. I really didn't think anyone would be here, so I wasn't prepared. Okay. Okay. So, for example, I had been depressed this is years and years ago. I had been depressed for a very, very long time. Um, and angry at everyone and everything, and saw no reason to get up from my bed. And this was a different time when I lived with my mom, and she decided that I needed um, a dog. And so I get this puppy that I picked out, and I was actually, for the first time in so long, had felt some excitement about something um, when I picked the puppy out. But um, but I quickly went back to anger, depression, um, resentment. Some horrible things had happened in my life at that time. I'd lost a nursing job to bipolar disorder. I'd lost um, in relationship I was engaged about, depressed, bipolar was. And so I get this puppy and um, don't want anything to do with it at first. And the puppy's crying and I'm like yelling, I'm not doing it. I'm not, go away. And the puppy at my doorway in my bedroom wanting to come in, and I'm yelling, get this thing out of here, and horrible things. And for a while, mom took over taking care of the puppy. And then and finally she said, you know what? Um, I'm not doing this anymore. I, I'm not taking care of this puppy, not wanting to be there, not wanting anything to do with this puppy. Completely hate my mother, resentment, um, have the puppy on a leash for her. Um, and so I had to do that. Um, and I eventually started to look forward to it a little bit, but I had to force it, and I was in my head the whole time. This is stupid. I don't care. I don't care about anything. I don't care about this puppy. And um, I don't. And long story short, she ended up becoming my best friend, and um, that was a long time ago. That was a different dog. Another example would be in like the social anxiety situations when I was in nursing school. Um, I quickly learned that my personality type would not do well unless I made some alterations. Being shy and nervous and um, not confident, not open, that wasn't going to make for a good nurse or nursing student. And I wasn't going to get anywhere like that. So, um, so when they would say, when we would go to do something, um, like if we were learning how to put an IV in for the first time or something, I would force myself. I mean, it would be gut wrenching, but I would force myself to volunteer to be the first person. And I did that until I kind of became more comfortable and more confident. It was nursing school was just I was completely insane during nursing school. I was certifiable, but managed to do well and graduate. I don't know how. But back to cleaning. When you're depressed, you me, I know the minute, the very second I'm in the morning and I say, there's no reason to get up today. I'm staying in bed. That's this might take all day. Okay. I force myself out of bed. I force find some clean clothes and take a shower. And if that's all I manage that day, that's a good day when I'm depressed. I've done that for so long, it's actually become second nature. Uh, uh, for a long time, I couldn't do that. So the next step after managing to get up, clothes on, take a shower, is usually that's starting to tidy up because if I'd been depressed for any length of time, that means things have accumulated in my space, cups and wrappers and just clothes on the floor or stuff like that. And just set one goal for that day. And if it's just and it takes all day. So you've gotten up, taken a shower, put on some clean clothes, picked up some clothes off the floor. That's a good day when you're that depressed. That's an awesome day. But you can't, it doesn't work if you just lay there and wait for it to happen, because it's going to be a long, long time before it happens naturally. You have to like start the engine. That's how I would say. And with, obviously hypomania is probably like the ideal place, except for some things like if you tend to spend money or sleep around. But for me, in hypomania, when it comes to my environment, I'm super cleaning, having a good time. Have the music going, lots of energy, really good ideas about how to organize things. I don't get tired, I don't get hungry. So when I have hypomanic symptoms and I recognize it, I purposely do certain tasks that are maybe I otherwise would not want to do. I will even, okay, I have this thing I want to do. I really don't feel like doing it. It's complicated and I'm just not into it right now. So I'm going to put it right in the next hypomanic state I have, I'll get it done. So you have to strategize. You're in college or something, school, hypomania is awesome for studying, project. So hypomania is really a time when I'm like, I'm going to do the deep cleaning. I have some doing and plenty of energy, motivation, and satisfaction when I look around. Normally, in a normal mood, so I don't encourage a hypomanic state, but when they are there, I utilize them. Um, but you have to be careful not to get into too deep of projects later in the day when you're supposed to be starting to wind down. Um, because it's really easy to be hypomanic and decide to go to bed a little bit later to get a project done or something. And next thing you know, you're staying up later and later. And I I had this really bad manic episode. My Probably my worst manic episode. I was having delusions, and it was so weird because I was so far gone before anybody noticed. Um, I was hearing things. It sounded like, but I couldn't find the radio. I'm walking all over the house. So, um, yeah, the risky behavior during hypomania. Um, Everybody has their thing they do in hypomania mania, and it's usually pretty consistent. Um, like some people, it's a spending, buying things. That would be me. Um, my mom knows to check in me when too many packages are showing up from Amazon. Um, some people go to drugs, alcohol, um, and any other things that are mood altering. Some people gamble. Some people um, flirt and sleep around. When I was younger, I would do the flirting thing stuff, but I didn't. That I did not have um, that particular symptom of mania and hypomania. Okay, back to my story about cleaning and mania. So while I was having this episode, I was writing a book. And I actually did write the book. I'm not kidding. Um, and I really just started out just wanting to know if I could follow through on this idea. That's all I wanted to know when I started. But I slipped into a manic episode while I was doing this, and it took on a very bizarre life of its own. And and I was writing until 4 or 5 in the morning, sleeping all day. So my circadian rhythm got out of whack. but that's all I was doing was writing. And the further out I got in mania, the more bizarre were the things I wrote, but not to me. In fact, I thought they were true, um, but they weren't, and they were completely and utterly insane. And so I'm just like writing like a mad woman, and I was a mad woman. And so I went to a therapist appointment, and she realized something was wrong. And I went, and she suggested we call my mom, and I found myself in the hospital. And my mom left my room as it was. When I came home, oh my gosh, there was paper and, you know, they had been written on. They call it, there's a word for it, it's called hypergraphia. And it's a very common uh, manic the rapid speech and the pressured speech that we have. But this is called hypergraphia. And you have to write down every idea you have in your head down. So I looked at this room. I was every inch of the floor had paper, notebook paper, and just it was just crazy. And I remember specifically being in that room and not noticing it. But when I was okay, I realized how bad I had been, because it was really, really bizarre. Um, Embarrassing. Actually, to tell you the truth, it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. I didn't notice um, that my environment had been that cluttered and messy, and I hadn't noticed. I don't know. It was, but I mean, it was obviously a reflection of where I was mentally at that time. So for me, keeping a space tidy and um, clean, picked up isn't the best when I've gone from hypomania to mania. Um, Now that's regular mania. I don't get that much anymore. That euphoric mania. I used to. Now I get some hypomania and then mixed. So, um, mixed, I tend to, my environment, if it's not I get even more irritable and frustrated and agitated and angry. But at the same time, I'm not capable of a whole lot about it. So I purposely put myself in space that is the most manageable. If it means just putting a few things in the trash, you know, that always helps. Tidy, getting things tidy, my irritability, it helps. But if I'm tidy or messy or because I'm not seeing anything properly outside of my head. So, so I would have to say, let's see, I'm not sure which is worse, mania or mix. Probably trying to keep a clean environment, manic. The irritability, I do have some medication that can help me come down, and I can maybe do some other things to help me calm down, and then I'll come back a little less agitated. Um, like going for a power walk. Um, and or or like find something that I was gonna throw away anyway and allow myself to destroy that. Like just tear into a giant word box to release some of that physical. Um, because mixed episodes to me feel very physical rather than mental. Um, I really feel like I need to be, but with mixed episodes, really, it's best for me to just isolate myself for a little while. Well, the Klonopin for me were good, um, but it made me hallucinate. So that's off the list. I I now have the generic XR for those days. But I haven't had one of those days. Hopefully, I'll never again have one of those days. But if I have one of those days, I am. I have that the Xanax XR available, and we're gonna see if that helps. Um, because I think of all the mood uh, states, the mixed is the most difficult to treat because um, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, with the neurotransmitters, why it's so different from the other mood states, but to me, it's a very distinct difference. It's very difficult um, to control, especially if you've gotten into like it's coming on. You can feel it coming on, and sometimes it's hours and sometimes seconds, but there's like a precursor, but once you're like really far in it, you have absolutely no control. And I would like to hope that the medication that I'm going to take if I have it again um, will help because of all the mood states, mix is the most alienating to other people, the most dangerous, um, the most uncomfortable, I think, um, and unpredictable. And people really, I don't understand. You can't, there aren't words to explain it. I, uh, I see videos of people and I watch them because I think they're funny, sure. Um, some people having outbursts in public and stuff, but there's always a part of me that wonders, is that person maybe having a mixed episode? Because, I was just acting that same way about 4 days ago. Actually, I've only, that I can recall, I've only had um, instance where I had an outburst in public, and it's, people don't understand that when you are come back down and remember, you feel really bad, really ashamed, and you can't take it back. Anything you said, eh, you can apologize, but and they can understand that it's your disorder, but the hurt there, and your laptop's still broken. you know, like road rage, and you don't know, some of those people might be having a mixed episode. Um, let's see. So yeah, cleaning cleaning is impossible in mania for me. Um, I can tidy up a little bit, I'm too agitated, and it makes me feel better. If my space and environment are a little tidy, my in I can force myself to do a tiny bit at a time if I'm depressed. Um, I don't spend a whole lot of time anymore in a normal mood. I'm always moving nowadays. But right now I have been doing some serious cleaning because I'm not working anymore and I have time on my hands, and it has been very satisfying to walk through a room and it be tidy. Um, I know that there had been uh, sometimes when a mood, say either depression or mania, I even normal, but when I am in an altered state, I have a lot of trouble making decisions or figuring out how to get started on something. Um, and it would be really simple for my mom these things, because I know other people would think I'm crazy, but like if I'm in a depression or a other mood state other than normal, I will have, or hypomania, that's not bad either. Like getting a room straightened up is too big a task for me to figure out if I'm depressed or too manic. And I will ask for help. And it's just like something like, yeah, clean your room, big deal. But I would be like, I really need to get this space clean because it's driving me crazy. Can't figure out what to do I need help making decisions. And sometimes she gets it and sometimes she doesn't. Um, sometimes she's like, well, why do you need help doing that? And I'm like, well, I just can't figure out how to get started or what to do first. Um, so yeah, it's like it's overwhelming sometimes to look around. Then it's overwhelming to ask for help. Um, and you're lucky if you have someone that um, understands enough to do that for you. Um, see, well, I guess I'm going to end this now. Uh, Um, so I'm trying to get this one video uploaded, trying to figure it out. So it's a really good story. It's a really interesting story. So, um, thank you for the few people who have been here for me today. And I hope to be talking to you again soon. Bye.